everybody. Welcome back to Talk With Nia. So we have to get into Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. So let's just start off with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, okay? Like I said in the last episode covering these girls, we were going to see what happened on Sunday, right? With the whole Kenya and Britt situation. But before we touch on that, I need to talk about Drew and Portia. Now, Drew and Portia's situation, they're basically, Portia's not getting along with Drew. I don't think Drew has a problem. Portia's not getting along with Drew because Drew is working with Dennis and he's like helping her music career. Mind you, I never known Dennis to be a baby face. I never known Dennis to be a dark child. I never known Dennis to be, a Timberland. I never known Dennis to be a music manager. I've never known Dennis to be none of that stuff. But if he's helping her and he got some connections in Atlanta in the music industry, okay, girl. Now, anyway, Drew did reach out to Portia several times trying to meet up with her. I guess she texted her. She tried and then couldn't get Portia to meet up with her. So Portia's big thing is you could have, picked up the phone and called me and told me that you were, working with him. And I also think she wanted Drew to tell her, you're going to be filming with him on the show. She wanted her to, be a good girlfriend because let's not forget Portia and Drew were actually really cool. So I think she was just looking for that from her. Now, in Drew's defense, Drew did reach out, but I think even Cynthia said it, you should have just picked up the phone and called her, left a voicemail, said, hey, girl, I want to sit down with you because I want to talk to you about Dennis. He's looking to, manage my music career. I think if she would have mentioned that, even in her text message, Portia would have picked up the damn phone. Not hey, girl, let's meet up. Because she don't even know what you're talking about. If you really wanted to make sure that she had a conversation, you would have gave that very important detail. She would have picked up that phone. That's what I think. But also, I think Portia is kind of dragging this as well. I don't think she thinks Drew is doing anything with Dennis. But I get both sides of the coin. Drew tried, and then Portia definitely should have gotten a heads up either way. But I just don't want to hear this conversation happen in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes. It cannot be those two girls' entire storyline. We need to move on to something else. This is old and tired. It should have just been, it should have wrapped up by now because we're over it, okay? We got to move on to the next. But I think Portia is using this because she can't really talk about that divorce, I guess, at this time. And Drew is using it because Drew ain't got really much going on anyway. Now, let's get into Kenya. Lord. Now, Britt did say that she had a pistol. We all heard it. They even put the captions on for us. Britt did say that she has a whip and a pistol. She don't know me. You know what I'm saying? That was a threat, 100%. If Kenya doesn't know who you are, you're talking about you got a pistol. That's a threat. Period. Right? Now, Kenya is at her beautiful hair spot. She's doing the grand opening. It looks really, really nice. And she got all those people there, whatever. And then Britt comes with flowers. She comes late, but she comes with flowers with the other girl. I'm still learning everybody's name, but she tries to give it to Kenya. Kenya ignores her. That's Kenya right there. And then Kenya gets everybody's attention, and then she shows these photos that are blowed up and put them on a poster board and shows, obviously, I guess, Britt probably had a lot of surgery done to her face, and she probably looked like a totally different person years and years ago. She had an insurance fraud poster that we didn't get to see, but somebody caught it on TikTok. And then, of course, she had the poster where it was showing Britt giving fellatio. It was, okay, it was a bit much, a lot much, okay, inappropriate much. So the girls saw that poster and they all just jetted out. They all just dipped off. They were all uncomfortable. They just immediately thought Kenya was wrong. Cynthia, this is where we see Cynthia tell Kenya, this was your moment. You should have let this be the focus of, you should have just had this moment focused on your business. You've been working on this for years, building up this brand for years. You're leaving this salon for your daughter, and you shouldn't have did that here. Okay? And then she said, I love you, and left, right? Now, everybody kind of felt that way. I mean, Portia dipped out. Like, a lot of people just left immediately. And they didn't even want to film no more. Like, they was just disgusted. And my opinion on it, Kenya, I'm not surprised that Kenya did it. I'm not surprised. However, it shouldn't have happened at her grand opening. She should have, like, hosted some other, like, dinner or something, got all the girls there and did that shit there. She shouldn't have did it at her opening, right? Her grand opening. But she shouldn't have did it at all. Like, I don't understand why she had to go that low. And for someone as, like, spitfire and witty and smart as Kenya, I just feel like she could have came up with something else that would have hit that girl hard and got her revenge. She wanted revenge on her. That's how Kenya is. She gets revenge on people. But just like Kenya said before, we all have to sit on this couch and we have to fight with our words, right? She said that at a reunion when her and Portia got into a fight and she was antagonizing her with that scepter. You let this new girl get you out your spot because you took it too far. And I just feel like Kenya's smarter than that. And she could have used her words and she could have read that girl down. She could have said, I got receipts when you did this and that. You like a totally different person. Like, you on the internet. You all over the internet giving fellatio. You all over the internet on these, XXX websites. She could have just said things. Or she could have said about the insurance fraud. And I got this person and try to pull people in to sit down with them to prove it. She could have did something else. She should have focused on the insurance fraud, maybe. Maybe she should have focused on that rumor. Because that wouldn't have caused a big issue like this. But I felt like she could have came in a different way that would have still had her have a spot on that show. And she wouldn't have got all this back. It wouldn't have been none of this. It's like, I'm just like, dang, Kenya, you too smart. You couldn't find something else or do this in a different way and just leave the like sex part out and read this girl down and let her know not to come for you? Because she's done it so many other times to other people. I don't understand. I think she just got too much in her head. I think she let that situation trigger her too much. And if she felt threatened, why didn't you just why didn't you just file a police report? Like, why didn't you just get a restraining? Why didn't you just go that route? If the production wasn't on your side, like, I don't know. I feel like there were so many other ways she could have did it. So many other ways. And now nobody's talking about your salon. Nobody's talking about that shit. Nobody's going to go. Like, oh my goodness. I don't understand. Britt did take accountability for the situation, which was nice. But she's dead ass wrong too. How dare you get on this show as a newbie? And you basically talk to Kenya like, oh, can you talk to people nicely? And she calls you a peasant. And then you're like, bitch, I got pissed. Like, off of her just saying that she's a queen and you're a peasant. You're talking about your pistol. She didn't even do much. She didn't even do much of anything to you. Like, who are you to sit there and be like threatening people with a gun like that? I don't understand. I really don't understand that at all. I don't understand that. She's dead ass wrong too. And for them to keep her on the show, like, what's her punishment? What are her consequences? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand why all of this is on Kenya, but nobody's talking about Britt. Yeah, it's nice that she came with the flowers and everything, but I'm sorry. If you said, if I had somebody say they was going to pull out a gun on me, or they got a pistol and they like all ramped up and I'm trying to get out of there, I don't want you coming up to my place with flowers. I want you to far the hell away from me. Okay? I would never trust you again in my space. Ever. Okay? Nobody's really like putting no attention on her. They both should be gone. Both of them. Since when have we ever had somebody on the show threaten somebody with a gun? Child, what have we come to? Now, Married to Medicine, real quick, okay? Those ladies is jealous of Quad. Those ladies are jealous of Quad, in particular, Simone. Simone, are you jealous of Quad because Quad divorced her husband? She didn't have a baby with that toxic man. She left with her hands clean, and then she went out, still solidified her spot on the show for, 2 or 3 seasons after her divorce. And she got a nice-ass big house. And she did that on her own without being attached to a man. She's educated. She always had a job. She did medical sales. She wasn't a doctor, but she was in medical sales and she was doing well in her career. Are you jealous that she was able to stand alone when Mariah left? Why is she a target for you? If she don't mess with you outside of work because y'all wasn't messing with her since season 1, who cares? Are you mad that she's friends with some of the girls from Atlanta Housewives? She's friends with, I think she's even friends with people from other shows. She was on Sister Circle. She's gotten a lot of opportunities and she has expanded her network and expanded her friendships and connections. What is wrong with that? Why do you feel she needs to tell you about her new man? Well, y'all ain't even friends. And you are definitely not her friend. Never was. Okay? Child, Dr. Greg, you treat your current wife so bad. You treat your current wife so bad. Ain't nothing changed about you. You ain't learned nothing about how to have a good, healthy relationship and be a good man to a woman. Sweetie, please get out of that marriage. Don't stay too long, child, and don't get that man a baby. I think sometimes the whole fertility thing happens when you have certain issues with fertility. I think sometimes it also has to do with who your partner is. That's just my belief. I feel like if you're in a toxic situation, depending on who you believe in, but I believe that God won't let that baby come. I think she's probably meant to be with somebody else and she's going to get pregnant by somebody else. And if that happens, y'all heard it here first. Okay? Now, I think Dr. G has a huge issue with taking accountability. And he don't want to admit that he felt a way that she's with King and he's like a handsome, fit guy, and she's happy. She's sexually active, way more sexually active with him than she ever was with, Dr. Greg. And he couldn't handle it. And any person would have an issue with that or feel a way, y'all were married, for crying out loud. Anybody would have an issue with that, but he's just so prideful. And they making him look corny. Why they had that man performing that song looking a damn fool, child? A damn fool. That's all I got to say on that. Let me know what y'all thought about the 2 shows in the comments, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.